Hey guys, Don Allen here at the first ever Monsterama in Atlanta, Georgia, celebrating all things classic horror from the Universal monsters all the way through the Hammer horror films of the 50s and 60s. Let's go take a look around. I'm here with Daniel Griffith from Ballyhoo Motion Pictures, most commonly known for doing the documentaries on the Mystery Science Theater 3000 Shout Factory discs. Tell me what that experience has been like.
When I was approached to do the bonus features by Shout, it was really to do documentaries that explored the making of the films themselves. I was working on a documentary about an obscure film distributor named K. Gordon Murray. One of the films that MST had riffed was a movie called Santa Claus. Most people would remember it as Santa Claus kind of matching wits with the devil.
Your reindeer will turn into powder. You will starve to death, and I will rule the earth.
I don't get it.
I thought this was a great opportunity to kind of, shed some light on the production and the people responsible for bringing these films to the U.S. And then later, with the follow-up was on Beast Yucca Flats. It's basically like a silent film with the dubbing of the dialogue put in post. So it's pretty awkward. But it was a chance to educate people on these films and the reason why they're either obscure or misunderstood.
Do you have any words for our viewers? I'm here with
Laura Huber from Beautiful Monsters Jewelry.
You said this was one of your boyfriends?
So I set him on fire. I know he kind of looks like a zombie, so I figured I'd just sell him.
So can I get your number after the... I'm just kidding. So,
Sure,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Oh, that's a good... That is the best question ever. How do you want to go out, not where or when? I'm here with Veronica Carlson, star of late 60s Hammer horror films Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, correct?
Yes.
And Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed.
Yes.
And, of course, I just watched the other day, again, The Ghoul. You got to co-star with some amazing leading men in those films. Christopher Lee. You also got to work with Peter Cushing a couple of times. And in The Ghoul, he was fantastic, I thought.
Peter in this was after his wife had passed away, and this is very, very sad man. And of course he had to play the part in the script of losing his wife, and he always had a picture of Helen, his wife, on set, and he picked up this picture of his wife Helen and was bemoaning how he lost her. And of course it became very emotional for everybody, and Freddie Francis made him do about 6 takes, unheard of. We used to do 1, maybe 2. Don't push your luck for 3. And till Peter just broke down and had to excuse himself. But he left all of us in tears. He was a joy to work with. He was very professional. But we missed him when he'd lost his wife. We missed him. He didn't join us for lunch. He didn't join us for just chatting. He just went to his dressing room and was his own quiet self. Christopher, his magnificent self, who, to look at him, you would think would be quite aloof and remote, but he was the exact opposite of that. He was very approachable, very kind. He stood behind camera one day when Freddie was asking me to look at his hand as an eyeline, and this lovely voice of Chris's came out of the dark. He said, "I'll be her eyeline, Freddie." And he stood there and he acted as if he were on camera so that my reaction would be as best it could be. And that shows you he was so kind.
Hey, I'm here with Scott Tepperman, formerly of Ghost Hunters International, and now turned actor, director, producer, pretty much all-around handyman for movies. So tell us a little bit about GHI first of all. What was your experience on the show like?
The experience was phenomenal. I've done it for about 2.5 years, went all over the place and got to experience a lot of different cultures, a lot of different investigations and hauntings and customs and everything.
I know the show, there's a lot of editing, obviously, that goes into it, but they shortened the research process into like a segment. You would sit in like a room and just listen to just white noise like all day long, practically. Is that what you would do?
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you see an episode, taking out the commercials and the fact that they put 2 cases usually in one episode, you're seeing 20 minutes of a 200-hour investigation. They've never faked anything for GHI, which we're proud of, but they definitely had to cut stuff down and give you guys the interesting parts.
You want to tell us about some of the projects you're working on now?
Yeah, I'll tell you real quick. I'm doing a sequel to Truth or Dare: Critical Madness from 1986, the cult classic from Tim Ritter. And Tim Ritter and I met a couple years back. We hit it off really well, and we're doing a sequel to that. And I'm going to be co-directing with him. I'm going to be starring in it. It's my first starring role, so I'm pretty excited. I've also just finished up work on Don't Look in the Basement 2, which is a direct sequel to S.F. Brownrigg's film from the 70s.
And it's directed by the original director's son, and it's shot in the same location.
Some of the original actors from the film, too. So it's
Right, so it has some of the original cast and everything.
And I'm working currently on Night of the Living Dead Genesis with Matt Cloud. He's the director, writer, producer, all-around cool guy for it. And Judith O'Day, who plays Barbara, is returning as Barbara.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
So yeah, here at Monsterama, we're enjoying ourselves, talking to some people and meeting some interesting characters, all the while we're... All right, I'm here with Larry Blameyer, who did the film The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra, and its sequel, The Lost Skeleton Returns Again. What did you say? It was intentionally redundant? Is that what it is?
I am redundant. My cast gives me a hard time all the time because I make them learn redundant lines that repeat constantly and make them say science many, many times.
Betty, you know what this meteor could mean to science. It could mean actual advances in the field of science.
What was the thought process behind the initial foray into this kind of filmmaking?
There were 2 things, main things. We wanted to make a movie. We didn't have a lot of money, so we could make a movie that's supposed to look cheap. And it is. It's supposed to look like a 1950s cheap movie, very low budget. The other thing was to make something that was like what I grew up on, which is the B movies, sci-fi movies of the 50s. I love them, and I wanted to sort of make a tribute to that.
I love Bloody Disgusting. I'm not kidding.
We like that. You can say
Yeah,
it as loud as you want.
Yeah, no, I'm all over your website all the time. It's like every single day. Oh, I need to post that. I need to repost that.
Godzilla's really big in the States right now because of the movie Right Now, and I am actually the only actor, and foreigner or Japanese, who played an android in one of the Godzilla movies.
And with 30 movies and 60 years to have something that you can call your own is pretty special. I'm here with Madeline Brumby from a very aptly titled film, Dear God, No. Do you know who Skrillex is? Are you familiar with Skrillex the DJ? Okay, your character looked like Skrillex in the movie?
Really, very introverted, repressed.
Your character.
My character is very... No, I'm not.
I'm here with the Director of Media Relations for Monsterama, Dan Carroll. Dan, tell us a little bit about the thought process behind the convention and exactly what you guys set out to do when putting it together.
Monsterama is a little bit different than some of the other monster conventions in town because what we wanted to do is celebrate the roots of monsters and pop culture, going back to the early 20th century, looking at the universal monsters, the monsters that came up through the atomic age, the type of stuff that Mystery Science Theater 3000 would have made fun of. We wanted to celebrate that, and sometimes we make fun of it too.